Hey there, welcome to Healthy TV, episode number 50. And on today's show, we're talking about vitamin N. Do you get enough? Thanks so much for joining me on my 50th episode. I am super pumped for the next 50, and I thought I wanted to make this one really momentous. So I brought you out into my some of my favorite environments here in Gatineau Park. This is a trailhead of L'Oreal Falls, and I absolutely love getting out in the nature. And that's the whole topic of today, and I'll get into that in a moment. First, I wanted to just double click on the fact that we've been running a challenge over the last month on squatting. And for those of you who've been following along, today's day 30, it's the last day. So you should be getting 30 minutes of accumulated time in that deep squat position. So I'm gonna be doing some squatting on the trail here in a moment. I'm gonna go for a run, so I'll use that as my prep for my run. Now, why am I on site here? This is to launch the next challenge, so the monthly challenge for July is to satisfy your vitamin N requirements. And this is something that is becoming more and more prominent in my life, is that I definitely need to be out in nature. That's what N stands for in the vitamin N. And not only is getting out in nature, just good for you, it's something that can really help to improve a bunch of different stuff. Research shows that it improves short and long-term memory and decreases symptoms of depression and anxiety. It even has effects on your physiology, like decreasing your blood pressure, lowering those stress hormones like cortisol. And the biggest thing, and this one I wanted to double click on, was the impact on kids, and in particular their ability to learn. That is shown to go up when they spend adequate amounts of time in nature. Their symptoms of ADD, ADHD are reduced, both self-reported by teachers and parents, and also in their clinical assessments. And I thought this was the coolest thing, is that it's shown that if you spend adequate amounts of time in nature, if you're consistently satisfying that requirement, you live longer. Okay, some researchers have been able to demonstrate that satisfying this requirement for vitamin N can add up to 7 years to your life, okay, if you do it consistently. Now, how they've arrived at that number, I don't know the specific math, but certainly it's clear that getting immersed in nature is really beneficial to your health. And just like you may focus on eating good quality foods or training regularly, getting in your exercise, or perhaps getting adequate sleep or drinking lots of water, all those other health habits, I would argue that getting out in nature consistently is just as important as those habits. So the challenge for the month of July, I've actually set the bar pretty low. I'm saying 2 hours per week immersed in nature. Now, I want to put some caveats to that. So I'd love for you to actually get out into true nature, so there's no sort of man-made environments around you. I have a huge respect for man-made items. I drove my car to get here, so it's not to deride those, but it's important, it seems, from the research to get out and fully immerse. So right now we've been getting so much rain here in the Ottawa Valley that the greens in the forest are just incredible. And that really is stimulating to the brain, and it seems that exposure, particularly to the greens of nature, actually is part of what has the impact on the brain to reduce those stress hormones and increase creativity. It actually stimulates the parts of your brain that are related to memory, learning, and creativity. So that's pretty cool. So get immersed. Now, what I'd love for you, what I'm going to be doing is over the next month is sharing with you my favorite trails to use in the West End. I thought that would be an easy way to give you the resources to get you and your family out in nature. But I would love some help. If you could actually, in the comments below, let me know what is your favorite trails in the West End of Ottawa. I'm not as familiar. I spend a lot of time here in Gatineau Park, so I'll also give you some bonus trails here, my favorite ones to both walk, run in Gatineau Park. And I'm also going to be doing a weekend in Calabogie, so I'm going to get exposure to those trails. So I'll be sharing all that with you over the next month. And but in the meantime, if you could let me know, make sure that I tick off all the most important ones in and around Canada, Stittsville. All right, get out in nature. Happy Canada Day. Maybe avoid the crowds downtown and just go out to the cottage. And I look forward to taking you through this over the next month. All right, get your vitamin N.